Hey guys, and welcome to Scary October. I'm so glad you decided to join me. It's called Scary October because we're going to be doing some scary stuff this month. Like, we're going to be exploring the dark corners of our mind. We're going to be talking about some anxiety triggers. We're going to learn how to face our fears, and we're going to talk about taking off some masks. And stop hiding behind them. It's going to be super scary for those who participate and actually do it, and it's going to be fun too. So let's get into it. This week, we're going to be exploring the dark corners of our mind. Creepy, right? So, how do we explore the dark corners of our minds? Well, through meditation, of course. I'm sure you didn't see that one coming. Anyone who has been following me long enough knows that meditation is my jam. And I'm going to use any way possible to introduce meditation into people's lives. And this just happens to be one of those videos that you came across. And we're going to learn how to meditate today. So, why would we want to explore all the dark, creepy corners of our mind? Well, to become more aware. We want to find out what it is that's in there that's causing us so much fear, so much anxiety, and that's so scary. And the only way to do that is to actually go in there and look around. We also want to go in the mind so we can figure out how it works. Because if we can figure out how the mind works, then we can pull the strings instead of the mind controlling us. And we also want to go in there because we want to find out who we're being as a person. A lot of times we think we are this person, and we find out as we go within, we're being a totally different person than what we're showing the world. And so when we go within, we're going to find out, who we really are as a person. And if we are not okay with who we are as a person, we can make tweaks to that. It's no big deal. Okay, so we're going to do a quick exercise where I'm going to show you how to become aware of what's in your mind. And it's really simple and it's really quick. It only takes 5 minutes. So, what I want you to do is I want you to find a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. And I want you to bring with you a piece of paper and a pencil and something to bear down on. And then I want you to bring your phone so you can set a timer for 5 minutes. And what you'll do is once you start that timer for 5 minutes, you're going to close your eyes, and then every time you have a thought, you're going to write down what that thought was on the piece of paper, okay? So you're just going to wait for a thought, and as the thought comes, you're going to write it down. And if they keep coming, you're going to keep writing them down. You're not going to judge them. You're not going to say, oh, that's a bad thought, I'm not writing that down. You're going to write everything that you thought of down, whether it's pizza, plane, drama, whatever it is, write it down. All right, so go ahead and do that and come back. Welcome back. I'm sure that was an eye-opening experience for you guys, and I did it myself. Okay, this is what was in my mind after the first 2 minutes of this exercise. You ready? Okay, I thought about my husband finishing a McDonald's job, my neighbors. I thought about my son who's sick. I thought about the word anxiety. I thought of I have to film this video. I thought of my dogs. I thought I'm hungry. I thought about my other son and how I had to pick him up from school. I thought about some parts that came in today for a plumbing job. I thought about painting my arm. I thought about painting a picture. I thought about the Calm book that I'm giving away on my on my Instagram today. I thought about my daughter, and I thought about my pain in my arm again. I thought about a friend's birthday. I thought about a conversation I had with a friend. I thought about that friend's wife. I thought about an airplane. I thought about my cousins and making this video again. And then I thought of another friend, and that was just in the first 2 minutes. And then after that, it kind of like slowed down, and it kind of like my thoughts started spacing out more because I know how to do that. But when I just let it just go untamed, that's what came up. And so that just goes to show you how full your mind is. It shows you how many thoughts you have in the process of 5 minutes, and it shows you how fragmented and unorganized your brain is. But it can also show you how if you think of one thought, that'll trigger another thought that's similar to that thought, and then it'll just keep rolling down stream. You could have had various things come up in your mind. Maybe you had drama come up in your mind. Maybe you had your to-do list of all the things you had to do. Maybe your stressors came up. Maybe things that are causing you anxiety came up, things that you're worried about. It could be anything, but at least you're aware of what's going on in there right now. And so that's the main goal of meditation, is it kind of takes the blinders off and you wake up to what's really going on in there, and you can kind of see why you feel the way you feel all the time, why you're stressed, why you're worrying, why you're fearful, why you're experiencing anxiety in any given moment. You can start to see why it is the way it is. But it could be the opposite too. You could see why you're feeling joy all the time, why you're happy all the time. If you're thinking of cats and rainbows and pizza and things like that, you could see why you're just loving life. But so this is a good exercise just to make you become aware. And for an extra challenge, what I would do is when I find that I'm in a low vibe state of depression or anxiety or anger, I do this same exercise. I get out this piece of paper and set the timer for 5 minutes, and I would write all the thoughts I'm having down just to become aware of what's going on in there and what is creating that emotion inside of you. And then you could do the opposite. You could pick a moment where you're super happy and elated and that you feel like way high vibe, and you can get your piece of paper out then and start observing your thoughts and see what's going on in there. And you can contrast both of them. You can see how when you're in different emotional states, that your brain is thinking differently, and that's because your brain is causing your emotional state. But I'll talk about that another time in another video this week. But yeah, so that's a good exercise to do anytime you want, just to help you become aware of what's going on in there. And one of the things you need to realize is that you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are very random and fragmented, and they don't always come straight from you, okay? So we can have a lot of thoughts in there, and it's just generated by your brain, okay? And so if you look at your paper that you filled out earlier, you're going to see a jumbled mix of various pieces and fragments that don't really go together, and they don't really make sense, and they're all swirling around. And sometimes we can find ourselves within that swirl of fragmented thinking, and we can get caught up in the current of the thinking. And what you want to do is you want to kind of be on the top of the thoughts, so to speak. So you want to kind of float above them and not be in them. You can have all these thoughts going on in your brain, but you don't have to be in it. You can detach yourself from it, kind of like a sailor would. They would sail on top of the water and not be in the water with all the fragments. So you can kind of detach and bring yourself above the thoughts and realize that you're not your thoughts, that your thoughts are totally separate from you, and that you can just watch the thoughts from the boat. As the sailor, you can just be the observer of all that mess that's going on around in there, and you don't have to attach to it, and you don't have to feel any emotions about it, and you can just observe it and be aware of it. And so that's how we learn how our brain works. And we also learn that every thought that we have, we don't have to identify with it, and we don't have to accept those thoughts as true or as something that you have to think about in this moment. We can detach ourselves from the thought and realize that we're a person outside of our mind. There is something else in here besides the mind, and that's who you are. And so that's what I'm trying to show you. You need to become aware of what's going on in there and detach yourself from all that drama that's going on in there. And then you'll start seeing how the mind works and how it can manipulate you and how it can pull your strings. And you can see how it causes your emotions. And then you start getting to know yourself. You start really getting to know who you really are. Once you can separate your mind's thoughts from the person who's watching the thoughts, which is who you really are, then you really get to see who you are. And you can kind of see your behaviors and how you think by watching your thoughts too. And that's really like a gateway into the outside looking in. Now you're the one looking in out on the outside, and you can see who you really are as a person. And so if there's anything that you don't like, then you can change it and you can tweak it and you can start making new habits, new thought habits. Okay, so now we're going to get in how to actually meditate. So, if you're going to get the real deal meditation, then I suggest that you meditate with no music and do not have a guided meditation. Just meditate in complete quietness. So, in order to get the full effect, I'd like for you to meditate for 10 minutes. And what you'll do is you'll find a quiet space to sit in where you won't be interrupted for 10 minutes. And I want you to have a seat on the floor, kind of center yourself and close your eyes. Focus on your breathing. Relax your body. You know, you're going to relax your neck. You're going to relax your shoulders, your arms, your legs, your back. You're going to sit up in a dignified way. And as you relax your body, you're going to close your eyes. You're going to focus on your breathing. And then that's going to create space in between one thought and the next. And that's going to calm your body down. And as you do this, you're going to wait for a thought. And when the thought comes, you're just going to watch it. You're just going to observe the thought, okay? You're not going to interact with the thought. You're not going to engage with the thought. And you're not going to judge the thought. You're just going to watch. So when I say don't judge the thought, I mean, I don't want you saying, oh, that's a terrible thought. That's a bad thought. That's a negative thought. Oh, that's a good thought. I don't want you to think, oh, that's an inappropriate thought, or where did that thought come from? I just want you to watch and notice and observe the thought. Don't engage with it. Don't judge it. And then I want you to watch it go. And I want you to let it go and don't call it back. And then I want you to focus on your breathing again. And wait for the next thought to come. And when the thought comes, you're just going to acknowledge the thought by watching it. You're not going to judge it. You're not going to get caught up in it. And then you're going to let it go. Then you're going to focus on your breathing, waiting on the next thought. You're going to see the next thought come up. And as you're watching these thoughts, you're going to gain knowledge of how your thinking processes work. And a lot of times when I have a thought that comes in that may be surprising, I'll say, interesting. But I don't engage with it, and I just let it go. Because I'm just right now collecting data, trying to find out what is going on in there. And I'm observing because I'm wanting to learn how my mind works. And I want to know what is causing all the negative vibes in my heart. What is causing all the low vibrational frequency emotions to happen. So I'm watching my thoughts. Another thought comes up. I'm not judging it, but I start thinking about it. And then I kind of get caught up in it a little bit. And then I notice that I'm in the thought and I want to get out of this thought. So I need to focus on my breathing again. Take deep breaths. Let that thought go. And wait for the next one to come. And so what you're going to do is you're going to continuously repeat this process. This process is going to make you become more aware of what's going on in there. You may get some answers as to why you feel how you feel in this moment or every day. And you're going to definitely learn or start learning how the mind works. Now, I wouldn't expect too much out of your meditation if this is your first time, but it could happen. It took me a long time to figure out how to sit through meditation and do all those steps without losing my concentration, but you'll get the hang of it. I will say it was super creepy and it was super scary for me to sit alone in a room and not have any sound and just sitting with my thoughts. And if that's you, just know that it's perfectly fine if you're having negative thoughts or thoughts that weird you out. And just know that those thoughts can be changed. And if you're interested in learning more about that process of how to correct thoughts that you're not okay with, or that you find that may be causing you anxiety or fear or anything like that, feel free to look in the description box below, and you can message me for a free discovery session, and we can find out if we're a good match and if we can work together, and if what I have to offer you with the meditation is going to be a help to you or not. I'm open, and this is my passion. I love meditation. Meditation has helped me so much. It has unlocked the key to everything in my life, and it is one of the most important tools that I think everyone should have in their tool bag for life. So, what I want you to do today is to take 10 minutes and meditate alone, um, and do the steps that I taught you. Number one, you just want to observe. Number two, don't get caught up in the thought and don't judge the thought. Number three, you want to let the thought go. And number four, you just want to breathe. You want to watch the thought. Don't engage with the thought. Don't judge the thought. Let the thought go and breathe. And you're just going to repeat those 4 steps over and over again. Super scary, but at the same time, it's going to be so beneficial afterwards. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below how your meditations went. Let me know. I'm curious. But that's it for today, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.